Hey, it's Jag. I've made a decision. All right, well, it's been about a week. I've had a chance to kind of sleep on it and think what I want to do after the second router incident on this guitar. And I have decided to continue with it. I want to start by saying thanks to a couple of people. Neil, NSJ Guitars, Mickey, McD Guitars, and Dane Nichols from Jonah Guitars. All three of those have been very helpful and encouraging to me through this entire build. After sleeping on it for a while, I thought, okay, well, I don't know. Should I continue with this guitar or abandon it and get on to another one? And then I thought, if Neil, Mickey, or Dane chime in, I will take their advice. And I'm very happy that all three of them have remarked. Mickey said, definitely continue with it. It's a good learning experience. Even if this guitar at the end of the day is not playable or usable, if I end up just hanging it on a wall or toasting marshmallows over it, I can get a lot of experience by just continuing on with this. And I've got a lot into it already, so I might as well. So thanks, Mickey, for encouraging me to continue. Neil and Dane both had really good suggestions. Dane's was kind of along the lines of what I was thinking. He suggested just fill the whole mistake and then reroute for the pocket and put the neck in. And Neil wondered about, if you fill this problem, what about if you just put another veneer over the top? So that kind of got me thinking. So I'm going to do a hybrid of both of those suggestions on this guitar. One of the things that I kind of was unhappy with way back when I thinned this down, I got a lot of chip out and chatter in the top of this guitar, in the maple on the top. And it also ended up being very thin. It's less than 1/8 of an inch thick. So, you know, fine as far as a veneer goes. But when I was sanding to get that chatter out, I had to sand quite a bit. And the top isn't really flat anymore. If I put my ruler here, I have more than a 1/16 of an inch dip right here from using my my belt sander to sand it. Across the rest of the top, it's kind of dished. Well, it's dished completely on this side. That kind of disappointed me a bit, but at the time I thought, okay, first guitar build, I'll just go with that. Because I thinned it down after I had done my cavities, it's very thin where the controls are, about 3/32 of an inch. So I've had a concern all along that, you know, when the knobs are in there and stuff, if this were to take a tumble, might it crack that? So what I've decided to do is put a piece of, find a piece of ash, fill this whole neck heel spot completely, and then I can reroute for the neck heel. But before I do that, I'm going to actually run this through my planer, take this maple completely off, and I have some more maple. I have one or two actually of the same maple that I made at the same time that I did this top. It's from the same pieces of wood. So I may put that on, or I have actually a very thick piece of flame maple just right up here that's one piece, and it would be enough for a top. So I may use that. I'm probably going to go with the stuff I already have ready. And then I'll re-glue that on, and I can reroute the neck pocket, and then everything should be good to go, or at least still a good learning experience. The one thing I am going to do, I'm going to square off the end of the heel, and I'm just going to do that using my Ryoba saw and hand cut that. If I'm really careful with that, I can get it nice and square. I'll just get my other camera and just show you what I mean here. I do have an overhang here on the neck heel. So I'm just going to take this and cut it square and chisel off the waste that's still glued to the fingerboard. I will leave the fingerboard overhang. And then I'll have a square heel that I can put in the guitar. This is square here and here. So I'm just going to get a piece of ash, fill that in there, not quite to the same height as the face of the guitar. And then I'll plane the whole guitar flat again, glue a new top on, and once that's done, I can reroute the neck heel. These pickup cavities, they go deep enough into the ash that they will be there under the face, so I can just run a router bit around and take open those up again just with a bottom bearing bit. So that's my plan. So I'm going to start by squaring off the neck heel. It all looks really square, so I think we're good. So next part is to find a piece of ash to fill that neck heel, and we'll glue that in next. I have the offcuts from last year when I cut this body and the body for Butch Jr. This is one of the pieces, I think, cut from the bottom bout, either from this guitar or from Butch Jr. Why I've chosen this piece, number one, is it's wide enough to fill that space, and I have enough wood to make a block to go in here. I only need this about 2 inches by maybe 2.5 inches to fit in here. This whole piece from here to here is wide enough to get what I need for a block in here. I'm going to mill this out and I cut off what I don't need here, and then cut the other side straight and parallel with this side. I need to also get this remainder of this maple top off of here. And then I just need to final cut the block that I'm going to fit in here. So that's the next thing I'm doing. All right, well, that's the repair well underway. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon, so I got a couple of hours left still working out here. But I want to let the glue dry on this patch. You can see what I've done to clamp it here. This clamp is just to keep it from falling off the table, because this big clamp is clamping most of the patch. I used this one just to make sure it's clamped as tight as possible against the upper bout. And this one is just clamping the last bit of the heel here. There's a carve here, so most of this is going to get shaved away. It's a good tight fit. Everything's nice and straight. I'm really happy with this. I wasn't really able to match the grain up on the end of that patch, but like I say, it's not really going to show. And there's not going to be much of it there once I plane this, once I thin this down. Speaking of which, like I say, it's about 2:30. It's really humid, and it's about 22, 23 degrees today, but it's really humid. So I'm going to give this glue about an hour to cure. Hopefully that will be enough. It's not a really big joint, and not a lot of glue, so I'll give it an hour, or maybe an hour and 20, hour and a half, and then plane the face back down to the ash, because I really want to get that far today, and that'll be enough to get done for the day today, I think. So while that's gluing, I'm going to check through my stock of figured woods up here, and just make my decision on what I want to put on for the new top. Like I say, I have two pieces that are from the original flame maple that I put on the top of this one, and Butch Jr., which is the next guitar coming along. So I could pretty much put exactly the same kind of top on here, and I might do that. I probably will do that. It's probably the quickest and easiest thing to do. But I do have this other board of flame maple. I could put just a single piece on top. That might look interesting too. So I'm going to decide that while this glues, and I'll probably do any prep on that needs to be done. So I will be back shortly. The coach has a clean shave and ready for the other top. Boy, not like I needed a reminder of it, but that was a real reminder of just how chippy that maple is or was. Speaking of which, I have another piece. It's actually the exact other half of the piece that I cut last year. So what I used originally was here, and this is the remainder of it, and it looks really good too. I remember I couldn't really decide which one I wanted to use, so that's the one I'm using now. I got some notes to myself because I gotta remember a few things before I glue this down. Lucky to have this piece. I'm going to put it back on, and I'm going to not thin that down at all. I'll just sand when it's on. Because like I say, the other top, I was getting too thin on it anyway. So this is going to work out well. It's just a very, very slight bit cup, and I have my curved clamping cauls. So when I clamp this down, I can clamp that cup out, no problem. I'm just going to give a very quick sanding over this, just to rough it up a little bit, and then we'll get to gluing. Before I glue this up, I want to drill a couple of holes to pin this to keep it oriented the way I want it. I can put one pin through where the heel is going to go, and I'm also going to, what I'm going to do is put a punch through one of the string through holes and mark the other side, and I'll drill that hole from the other side. Those will both then disappear. I also want to drill a couple of holes into where the pickup routes are, so I know where I am. I don't have to go fishing for it when it comes time to route those out. Well, that's a real dog's breakfast of a glue up. A few things I hadn't really thought about before I glued this top on. I guess what I should have done was probably cut an outline or drawn an outline of the body on this face, and then cut a rough outline before I clamped it, because I did not have clamps that had the reach for that. Fortunately, I was able to get a lot of clamps on. I have the clamping coils that I made last year, and those are slightly convex, so they're thicker in the middle than they are at the ends. The idea being when you clamp, they put even pressure across the whole top. And I have 4 of those, and I was able to get them on in really good spots. So I've got a lot of pressure all the way across on the top. I also put this one 2x4 across the middle. And at the ends here, I was able to get some of my clamps on, and a few over here, and of course my longer reach C clamps. So I think this will probably work out okay. I had a lot of glue coming through the string through holes, and I'm glad I noticed that, because I did not put wax paper on the first 2x4 that I used here, just to give me a clamping surface, but it's not where any glue should have leaked through, so hopefully I didn't glue a 2x4 to my guitar. This one, I did notice that, so I put some wax paper on it before I screwed everything down. So I think it's all going to be good. We'll find out when I unclamp it. I'm not going to do that today. This is kind of it for now. I do have a fair bit of squeeze out. I tried to wipe as much of that up as I could. So I'll definitely have a lot of cleanup to do on this too. Like I say, hoping everything is going to be copacetic in here. I have glue squeeze out all the way around. It looks really complete. I don't see any gaps, except of course where I had done the arm carve, which I'm going to have to redo anyway. And so that should not be a problem. So I don't know. Wish me luck. We'll see what happens. So again, I want to send a special thanks to Neil, Mickey, and Dane. That's Neil at NSJ Guitars, Mickey at McD Guitars, and Dane Nichols, Jonah Guitars. Check their pages out. I'll put links below. Those guys have been great. They've been very encouraging and helpful to me through this whole build, which is now in its 14th month. When this all first happened, and I took a few days to kind of think about it, I still couldn't really decide whether I wanted to continue with this guitar or just abandon it. And I finally decided that I would post the video that I posted about it, and whatever one of those 3 said, because I knew at least one of them would comment, and they all 3 commented, and they all said stick with it. Mickey said you've got a good opportunity to learn some techniques even if it doesn't turn out. And Neil and Dane actually gave me the idea that led to this. Dane, of course, saying put a block in, reroute for the heel, which I thought was a good idea. But when Neil said, what about putting a veneer on, I went, bang, I'm going to take the whole top that's on there off and put a whole new top on. So I've got a little bit more thickness back. The top will be a little bit thicker where the control cavities and things are. So overall, as long as this glue up works out well, I think I'm back on track with this guitar. So like always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Check out my band One Soul Thrust. Check out Mickey, Neil, and Dane. And until the next video, we'll see you.